What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. As you can see, I am joined by, this is not Retake, even though he looks like him. This is my friend Heg. Do you want me to call you by your real name?
Sure.
Sure. This is Joel, my friend Joel. I'm visiting him in Florida right now. So we are at his house, and that's why it's a different background. As you can see, Ken is not back here as normal. No massive Ken poster. But we're making a video today about the top, well, I don't want to say top 10. Well, no, I do want to say top 10. They are the top 10 in my opinion, but I'm not going to rank them. But I have a ton of comments asking me, hey, can you do a video for top 10 teams and merge tactics? So that's what I'm going to do today. And he's here with me. He's top 3K finish in all champ last season, but he can't get good at merge to save his life.
I'm only 3,100.
3,100, but he's getting there. He's on the track to diamond, so I'm going to help him there. But let's talk about some comps today. So, like I said, these are not going to be ranked, but they are going to be the 10 best that I think are in the game right now. And again, we know that this game is all situational. So what cards are available, what you need to counter, that's going to be a much bigger part in what team is the right team for the match. But these are 10 teams that are viable that you guys should go for. So let's go ahead and get right into the first one. You can see I put the name right here in the search bar just so that you can reference them if you want to. But this is the Clan Avenger team. We all know that this team has been broken and is still broken even after the Archer Queen nerf. And I do want to note that positioning, I position these teams how I sometimes would, but again, positioning is also situational, so don't take those exact positions that I have here and put them into every game. Positioning is situational as well. So with that out of the way, this is going to be the best team in the game, I think. The Clan Healing makes Valkyrie the tankiest card in the game. Plus Barbarian has a good health pool too. Archer Queen is crazy for damage. You want her to get into her abilities sooner rather than later. That way she's going to be doing more damage to help out your team, because often when she's the last troop remaining and she's going up against 3 or 4 troops, old Archer Queen would have won those matchups, but now she doesn't anymore. So you do want her to get into her ability quickly. So she needs to be closer to the front line. Mega Knight is a great card now with his damage boost. Just a great CC card to get the stuns out. The Brawler synergy with Barbarian gives him an extra boost. Nothing too considerable. And then obviously the Ace paired with the Bandit is insane. The Bandit, the Valkyrie, and the Queen are the Avengers, of course, and so the last one of them that's still alive is going to get the damage boost. And all in all, this team covers every base. These two stun. She's providing damage. Bandit's providing damage. Archer holds her own in the back. I mean, Archer's not a great DPS card. Valkyrie's doing damage to a lot of units at once. Obviously, you want Valkyrie to be in front. Give the opposing units time to surround her, and so that your Valkyrie gets max value. And then Bandit, you just want a position where she can get a hit as soon as possible and dive to the back line and just start stunning their team. So, Clan Avenger, and by the way, this thing over here is messed up. It says 2 out of 4. It's the 4 out of 4. I don't know why, but ignore that. Just this is Max Clan, Max Avenger with Mega Knight thrown in. Okay, team number 2 is going to be for Ace and Avenger. Not much change whatsoever. I mean, obviously P.E.K.K.A came in and Executioner came in instead of Barbarian and Archer, but the same strategy holds. It just makes your Queen stronger. So if your Queen is a 3-star, it's going to be probably the best for you. But if your Bandit or your Mega Knight are the 3 stars, then it's a matter of who you purchase first as to who's going to be the Ace. I think a Bandit is a much better Ace than a Mega Knight. So I would sell your Mega Knight and rebuild your Mega Knight up to 3 stars if you're fast enough to do that in the pool. But that way your Ace can be, or your Captain trait can be on your Bandit. But again, the healing from her is not as great because it's only 2 out of 4 on the clan, but it's still very strong. Helps her become very, very tanky. P.E.K.K.A is very good DPS plus health. Executioner in here doesn't really serve. I mean, he doesn't do great damage, and he's just there to get the 4 out of 4 Ace. But then again, Mega Knight is very good with stuns, and of course, Bandit, especially if you can get Captain on her, is the MVP of this team after Queen. But just insane damage from these two, and the ability to stun from these two makes this a very, very strong team. And this is what I would call Ace Avenger. Here is Ace Golden Knight. We all know this team. We all love this team. One of the most fun teams to play because of the crazy combos that Golden Knight can get off at the end. I prefer this one with Knight, although you can do, like I've seen it with Princess, I've seen it with Prince. I think Knight's the best just because it gives you the Juggernaut synergy with P.E.K.K.A, of course, the newly buffed Juggernaut synergy. And I typically position it like this, but this positioning is very situational. These two guys are your catalyst units for this team. You need them to get into the fight as soon as possible. You need her to get a hit immediately so she can stun. You need him to get hits on the weakest character possible so that he can get his dash off. So this positioning is just, don't hold to this whatsoever. This is just, me taking advantage of the Juggernaut synergy. You really want to focus on getting your Golden Knight on one of the weaker units and getting her on one of the stronger units so she can stun and he can get the kill. That's this team. Obviously, the noble part is there as well, which is going to give the damage and the health bonus, or the damage and the damage resistance. But yeah, that's that team right there. Very, very, very strong team. Very fun team. One of the harder ones to get because Ace is so high in demand. Okay, next team is going to be the Valk Rangers. I believe. Well, no, I do like it this way. You can play it like this. I prefer to play it like this just to give the Juggernaut boost. It gives your Valkyrie less value, but the Juggernaut boost is very helpful, especially now after the buff. So, of course, this is all about your Rangers, your Princess, your Archer, your Dark Goblin. Those are the ones that are going to do the damage. And then the frontline troops are just to, supplement the backline. Obviously, you want Knight for the extra damage on Princess, plus it makes Knight tankier. Valkyrie is a very, very tanky card, combined with the extra healing from the clan synergy with the Archer. You do have 2 Goblins here just to passively generate some bonus elixir, but you also get the Juggernaut synergy between these two. And then his stuns are going to be very helpful against the backline because, with Rangers, their range is great, Princess especially, but they're not going to hit your opponent's backline if they're playing Throwers or maybe another Rangers even. So you need to have the stuns from Goblin Machine to make sure that you can incapacitate their backline while your Rangers destroy the front line while being tanked by these guys. And then once they're all charged up, they're just going to roll through the backline, no worries, even if your front line is dead. I think there's some good Rangers comps out there. I think this is the strongest. It's hard to get because obviously Valkyrie is in very high demand, and Goblin Machine is as well. But I think it's probably the best Rangers comp. Next is going to be the Undead Throwers. If you watched my last video, you know how insane these guys are. Maybe they could go high up on the list, but again, this is a very situational game. They're very, very strong into clan, which is very popular, so that's why they're very, very good. But on their own, they're not quite as good as some of the others that I mentioned, just because the undead trait isn't quite at the level. Even after the buff is very, very good, but it isn't quite at the level of Ace or Avenger or something like that. So obviously G Skelly in the front, he's your CC troop. You need him to die so that you can get your stuns. Royal Ghost, you can kind of put him wherever you want. He's kind of just a utility troop. He can distract a card for a bit, start attacking him, and then when he goes invisible, the card will have to retarget and just kind of waste some time. And then this is your tank, obviously. Once your G Skelly dies, he needs to hold the line for your throwers, and then just try to get him on weak troops too. That way he can get through and get some kills to spawn some skeletons. But the reason you use these for is for the synergy. Getting now 3 enemies. They have not updated this CR Tactics website yet, but is now cursing 3 enemies with 50% HP, which is insane. I mean, you're doing thousands of damage just at the round start. Very, very strong. Plus throwers, we know throwers are good. Again, your throwers can be, this is kind of all situational down here as well. I normally like to put Spear Goblin in the middle, but XE goes in the middle sometimes too. So again, that just all depends on where you can get your best executioner value with the lineups. But this is a very, very strong team. If you want to see more about this, just go watch my last video. Next is going to be the Ace Throwers. Everything I said about Ace still applies here, and then you just have the bonus from the Throwers. They're not as good as Avengers, they're not as good as Golden Knight, but they are far easier to get, very, very cheap, which means that if you get your Throwers merged and leveled up, you're going to have more elixir to attack, or to try to attain the rest of the Ace members, which is going to be very, very helpful because then you're going to be able to get in front of your opponents that way. I like to position them this way, but again, it's all dependent on where you get the most bandit value. You need P.E.K.K.A to tank. Mega Knight's very tanky as well, and you want some good area damage from his stuns and area CC crowd control. But then Bandit just getting on there. I mean, say you're going into a Goblin Machine, you need to stun him. You're going into a Queen, you need to stun her. You're going into a Golden Knight, you need to stun him. Bandit is your MVP here because she's also most likely to be the captain. Again, if she's not, then sell your Mega Knight and then repurchase him. Just so that your Bandit becomes your oldest 4-star or your 4-cost troop, and she is going to be the captain of the team. It's all focused around Bandit here. I mean, the rest of your troops are very supplementary, but they help control the game while Bandit does the work and destroys the backline. Very, very good team, Ace Throwers. Next is going to be CC Rangers. By CC, I do mean crowd control, and that's basically just stuns. This is actually a team that Retake made a video on, so go watch his video if you want to see more about this team. But again, it's all about controlling the front line so your Rangers can do the damage and build their speed up. The Valk Rangers, they do it by having a ton of HP on the front line and some stuns. The CC Rangers do it by stunning and stunning and stunning again. So what your Prince can do, and Prince isn't the best card in this lineup. Obviously, it's helpful for the Nobles, and he just does an extra stun. We still know he's not the strongest card stat-wise, but you want to use him to get a really good first stun against their opposing strongest card. You want G Skelly in the front to die as soon as possible and get some good stuns. And then your Goblin Machine, you want him to be, really tanky for this. If you can get 3 stars, then that's going to be very good for this team. But then he's your remaining HP that you need to allow your Rangers to pile up their hit speed. But again, with everything stunned on the front line, these things are just going to go crazy. They're going to be able to kill the front line very quickly, and then you'll be able to march into their back line with probably no issue. Next team is going to be CC Throwers. Same thing applies. I say CC just because it has these 2 cards again, but this is actually one of my favorite thrower comps to play. This is the one I played getting 2 diamond several weeks ago now. But, simple throwers in the back. I love the throwers. They're cheap. They're almost always available, and they're strong since the buff. I've made several videos on their new strength. And then you have, the G Skelly again, getting the frontline stuns. Very good into Queen. Very good into Bandit. Very good at just incapacitating units who really have no other way to shut them down. And then this guy's good for if you're going into Rangers, stun the back line. He's also good into Clan, where you can stun the Queen, the Bandit, and the Archer. Typically, as far as positioning goes. And then you just get the Ace bonus from this guy. You get the Juggernaut bonus from P.E.K.K.A. And then P.E.K.K.A. is just some extra HP. Obviously, it'd be nice to have a Bandit, even a Mega Knight, just for the extra CC, aspect. But the Juggernaut synergy is very good here. Actually, I think I normally, and I've told you this, I normally position them like this, just because it gives the extra shield to your Juggernaut, or the extra Juggernaut shield to your Goblin Machine, which is going to allow him to be tankier because he's going to have to walk up to find a hit and hopefully not take a ton of damage, but you really need to get a lot of value out of this guy because he is your hard counter to the Rangers, the Clan, normally all the teams that you'll be playing this team into because you are going for the throwers. Okay, last 2 teams are Assassins teams, and if you watched my video on Assassins, you know that they're not the strongest in the meta right now, but they have times where they shine. And so I want to show you guys the 2 best Assassins teams. Really isn't much to it. It's Assassins Throwers and Assassins Rangers. So this is Assassins Throwers right here. Not a ton of synergy. Obviously, you get your 3 Throwers and your 3 Assassins. You get your 2 3 out of 3s, and then you happen to get a 2 out of 2 or 2 out of 4 Undead and a 2 out of 4 Goblins. This Goblins is nice. You can normally get both of them to 3 stars very early, and then if you're lucky, get them both to 4 stars or at least one of them. And then the Undead buff makes this pretty strong. Makes these 2 guys pretty strong, especially if, on some off chance that maybe one of their backline units has some of the HP. Like I played into a 3-star Princess the other day with Undead, and she was the one who got cursed. And so then if you throw all your Assassins on the cursed Princess, she's already at half health. You're likely to kill her very quickly, take their strongest unit out of the game, and then maybe even your Golden Knight gets the kill and can start dashing around like crazy. So again, I have several tips in my Assassins video on how to play Assassins, sneaky Assassins, positioning, stuff like that. Go watch that video if you want more tips on how to play them. But I think because of, there are a few reasons, and the biggest that I think the Assassins Throwers are better than the Assassins Rangers is because when your Assassins dive to the back line, you're pulling their front line back. Because your front line is going to go, or your opponent's front line is going to go backwards to counter the Assassins, and then your Throwers are able to do more damage from further range. Your Rangers will sometimes have to walk up, and then as soon as they kill the front line, then your opponent's back line can just turn to them because they'll probably have killed your Assassins right now, especially if you went into a big team. But again, that's all situational, all based on star levels. If it's just 3 stars to 3 stars, you want to try to take out their Princess as soon as possible, or the Dark Goblin if you can, and try to get the dash on Golden Knight. If they are playing, the counters with the positioning, where they have the troops down in this little pyramid down here, you can still get wins. I've lost to 3-star assassins where, I had the positioning right. I had 3 stars on my units, and for some reason, they just won the round. So it can't be done. Same goes for this team over here. I mean, it can't be done to win with this team into stronger comps. Well, stronger, higher on the list with 3 stars. So it's just, it all depends. It all depends on targeting and stuff like that, the RNG aspects. But then this is this is your Rangers. Everything applies. It's just if you happen to have Rangers, and again, so the assassins are going to be. They're going to be a team that you either switch to at the very end or a team that you switch from. They're a surprise factor team. You either bring them on when you need to surprise your opponent, or you get rid of them and put a completely different team on. That way you can surprise your opponent by having them in, if your opponent's in the anti-assassins placement, then you can throw on different frontline units and surprise them. Then their units are clumped. They're very susceptible to your princess damage. Stuff like that. That is why this Assassin's Rangers is very viable, because when they go to anti-Assassin's placement, your princess immediately gets insane value because they're all clumped up and easy to hit. So this is a decent team. All of these teams are good. All of these teams are usable. There are several comps that you guys are probably thinking of that aren't on here. But if you want the best that you should be going for as often as you possibly can. I mean, again, I said I wouldn't rank them, but I think it's kind of accurate down the line. If you can get clan, get clan. If you can get ace Avenger, then get ace Avenger. Like just get the best you can out of here, and then it's all about positioning from there on out, knowing your matchups, just building your elixir, getting ahead of your opponent, getting higher stars, and I mean that's all there is to it. The comps. There's so many different comps in this game. So many that aren't even on this list that are very good and have situations that make them very, very strong. But again, it's all just knowing the game. So hopefully this is a help to give you some ideas. Anything else you want to add, Mr. 3100?
No, I'm learning a lot.
This is educational for him too. Yes. So thank you guys for checking in on this video. Subscribe if you are not already. Drop a like if this helped you out at all. Stay tuned for more content coming out later this week, and I will see y'all in the next one.